First of all, I I am going to buy some land down there in Alabama, and I'm a plantation, and I'm gonna start a new plantation so I can bring the blacks back and teach them to be how to how to work. Teach them how to work, how to respect, how to love God. Most black people don't love and believe in God today, even though they go to church.
Now, Jesse, let me ask you this: if I own a business and I said I don't want you to come in to my business because of your skin color, is that my right as a business to deny you service based on the color of your skin?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Well, at least you're consistent.
Because you have a private business and you put that business together in spite of what Obama said, you built the business and you have a right to set your own rules. When the blacks were, I grew up in Alabama on a plantation down there under Jim Crow laws. And I remember when blacks were protesting, they took it too far, the so-called civil rights people, and they were forcing their way into white-owned private businesses and tried to force white people to service them, whatever it was, right? And I thought then, these black people are taking this too far. You can't force a man. You don't have a right to force a private business to service you. But they did that, and it was wrong. Likewise, it would be wrong to make white people, any private business, take a nappy-headed person in if they don't want to.
So let me take this a little bit farther. You live in LA, right?
Yes.
So what if I said you cannot live in the neighborhood you live in because of the color of your skin?
If they own the neighborhood, if it's a private owned neighborhood, the government is putting no money in that neighborhood, if privately owned, then they have a right to do that. Even black people, including myself, I'm very concerned when I see black people moving into my neighborhood because I know when black people are moving in, crime, destruction, ghetto, stealing, robbing, and killing is coming back with them. And so I wouldn't want my neighborhood to be destroyed. So I'm very careful about who move in my neighborhood even now.
So, and you make that determination based on the skin color of the people that move into your neighborhood. You judge them by their skin color.
Well, now I made that decision by if they should apply, take an application and do a thorough background to make sure that they have a job, they've not been in jail, they're not been part of gangs, and that they're going to keep the neighborhood looking well. And as a private person, I have a right to do that, and no one has a right to tell me I can't. Look at the black neighborhoods. Nobody want to go to where white people going back now, buying up the land and making it beautiful again. But I don't see people moving into the neighborhoods. When Snoop Dogg and all those people got money, they move out of the neighborhood. So why shouldn't white people have the right to protect their own neighborhood from the blacks?
Well, look, let me tell you this. First of all, I think that the communities, I'm from the Washington, D.C. area, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., and there are incredible, beautiful, wealthy black communities that are almost all black. And, it's a place that's desirable and most people want to live. So this idea that you just came up with crime and all of that, I think that has to do with, some of the economic issues that we have in communities, the way communities are underserved. If you had fewer resources and things like that, even you might resort to that. And I think, right now, Jesse, to be honest, I never try to question anybody's sincerity, but I don't think you believe what it is that you're saying.
I know it. I mean, it's true what I'm saying, and everybody know it. A lot of people won't say it.
I don't believe
a lot of people won't say it, but you and I know that it's true. And by the way, when I was growing up, as I said, I grew up on a plantation in Alabama. I lived in a wood house with a tin roof. The bathroom was an outdoors bathroom. And we had to grow our own food and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes we went to the store, and you didn't see black crime like you see it now. You didn't see ghetto neighborhoods. And you didn't see out of wedlock birth and hating white people like you see it now. And my point is, black people are not suffering because of the lack of material things. Black people are suffering due to the destruction of the family and the lack of moral character. Most black people are immoral. That's why they are suffering. That's why they beg for reparation. They beg for affirmative action. They attack white people. We saw a bunch of blacks going into a store and just robbing it, stealing and destroying it. Nobody want that mess around them.
So let me ask you this. If black people were better off when they lived under conditions that you just named, that you grew up under, why don't you go back? Why don't you go back and live in a tin house with an outhouse if that's the way people that look like you should live? Like, then why are you making it worse for everybody? Why are you making it worse for the white people in your neighborhood? Why don't you go back and live in that tin roof house, wood hut with the outhouse, and start the process of making these neighborhoods great again?
That's a very good question. First of all, I am going to buy some land down there in Alabama, and I'm a plantation, and I'm going to start a new plantation so I can bring the blacks back and teach them to be how to work. Teach them how to work, how to respect, how to love God. Most black people don't love and believe in God today. Even though they go to church, they don't believe in God, because if they did, you would have 70% of black babies born out of wedlock. Black men and women hate one another. You wouldn't see the mama ruling the house and the man is weak. Beta males. You would see morality instead of immorality in the black community if they believed in God. But I got to ask, did you want to respond to that?
Yeah, I did really quickly. And that is, Jesse, and this is a personal question. If you don't feel comfortable answering it, I'm okay with that. Yes. But do you date black women, or do you date white women? Or
right now, I'm not dating at all. But when I dated, I did date black women. Because black women deserve to have a good man, and most black men are weak beta males. They even when they get with a woman, they become the boy and she become the mama. And so black women deserve to have a good man. They haven't had one in the last 70 years or so.
Okay, all right, yeah. I was for some reason I was thinking you were going to say white women, but okay, that's interesting.
Why were you thinking that?
Because you seem to have a lot of animus towards black women.
No, I don't have any anger toward anybody. I love all people. That's why I tell black people the truth, because I love them. I don't lie to them and pretend that it's racism or sexism or homophobism or Islamophobism or deadbeat dadism or anti-Semitism. It's either right or wrong, good or evil. And black people at one time knew that. Prior to the civil rights movement, they believed in God. They got married for the most part. They didn't have all these children out of wedlock and beg somebody else to take care of them. So I'm trying to bring them back to a time when they were moral.
So what is your opinion of Dr. King and the civil rights movement, Ella Baker? What's your opinion of that?
Well, I believe now that the civil rights movement itself was one of the worst things that's ever happened to black people. Because I noticed that prior to the civil rights movement, black people thought for themselves, they did for themselves, they didn't blame anyone, they were not hating white people, they were not relying on the government, they were not begging for affirmative action and reparation. But after the civil rights movement started, the blacks turned their lives over to the so-called civil rights leaders and over to the Democratic Party, and they have not recovered. They have only gotten worse instead of getting better. So it was a mistake.
I think that's an oversimplification. So you think that during the period that you praised, it seems like, since you said you grew up in Jim Crow in a small wood house with a tin roof and an outhouse. But post civil rights, you live in a posh neighborhood in LA. So doesn't it seem like things have gotten better post civil rights because you're living a better life, correct?
Well, I was living a good life then because I didn't have the hatred in my heart for white people. I didn't blame them for anything. We were taught to love and not to hate. So even then, I didn't consider myself as being poor and all that crap. And so today, I live even pretty much the same, except that I don't have any hatred in my heart at all, and I'm doing fine. But I don't, even when life was tough, when I moved to California, I had to do it on my own. Life was tough, but I still didn't blame the white people for it. I was taught to work, to save my money, to invest, and to take care of myself. Men who blame and beg and whine and complain are women. They're acting like women. They're acting just like their mothers. So we're trying to show these black men how to stop being women.
Well, I can't speak for your mother, but my mother was not a whiner or complainer at all. She was a very strong woman, and I can tell you, as well as my father is a very strong man. But I would say I think that the things that you said that you're doing through your organization are great, and I'm very proud of you for doing that. The thing is, why you have to couple that with, instead of ignore what the white people are doing or saying or whatever and focus on bettering yourself. It sounds like you're saying love white people and white people are the best and this and that. And why not just focus on how can we better yourself? How can we better you? How can you get your feet on the ground rather than this White History Month and white people are so great, and, rather than telling people that.
Well,
you seem like a good message.
I am telling black people that they need to stop hating, because most black people, including so-called Christians, black Christians, hate white people, and they are blaming white people. They are blaming white people for something that whites are not guilty of. Whites are not guilty at all of the destruction of black people. It's due to the black man being weak, the black woman being angry. She's passing her anger down to the black man's children, turning him away from his father toward her, and causing these boys and girls to rely on others rather than on themselves. And you can't blame white people for that. It's the destruction of the family.
So the destruction of the family, slavery, incarceration, all the things that divided black families, that has no role in the destruction.
It has nothing to do with that at all.
Black families are not destroyed. I have a black family. I'm a father. I'm married. I got 3 kids.
Are you married to a black woman?
I'm married to a black woman.
Amazing. I thought you would have said a white woman.
Why do you think that? What made you think that I would have said a white woman?
Because most of the time you end up marrying what you hate. And most black men hate their mothers, so they try to get away from her, whether consciously or unconsciously. They try to get away from that spirit, so they end up marrying a Chinese or a white woman or Mexican, but they still end up marrying mama because you have to overcome her in order to marry your own race. But I got to ask you this. Did you vote for the Great White Hope?
No, I don't. Who is the Great White Hope?
The president, President Trump.
Oh, no.
Why
no.
not? Why not?
Because he doesn't stand for the things that I stand for.
So you don't stand for the country?
I stand for health care. I stand for fair immigration. I stand against racial discrimination. I stand for women being treated right. Those are the things I stand for.
Do you stand for the country?
I think that those things are important things to the country. So,
do you stand for the country? Do you put America first?
By supporting those things, I think I support America.
Do you put America first?
How do you support America and you don't support healthcare?
Do you put America first?
As opposed to what? I put God first.
How about America?
I put God first.
Do you put America first?
I put God first.
And do you put America second?
I put America as the nation that I pledged, allegiance to, and that I constantly try to make a better place.
Do you put America second to God?
I put, me personally, I put my wife second to God. But, if you want to go down and talk about what nation I put first, of course, I put the United States of America first, and that's why I criticize it, because I want it to be the best nation it can possibly be. I'm not comparing it to, other nations around the world. I'm comparing it to what the potential for the United States is.
Do you love white people? You love white people?
I love humanity.
How about white people?
I love humanity.
How about white people?
I love everybody.
Do you love white people?
I love humanity.
One last time. Do you love white people?
Are white people included? Are they human beings?
I didn't ask about anybody but white people. Do you love white people?
If they're human beings, then yes. If they're not, then maybe we'll have to talk about it.
You don't think that they are human beings?
I think they are.
What do you mean if they are human beings?
I'm saying you're separating them from the rest of humanity. I'm saying I don't necessarily look at it that way. I love all human beings.
But I only asked about white people. If you love white people.
Yeah, I just don't separate people in that way when it comes to this question. If you ask me, do I love people? I'd say yes, I love people.
You are smart, man. You're a professor. You're teaching African history and all that. You got a black wife.
Oh, shoot.
You got African American children.
Yep.
I noticed that black people lead the way in crying racism. And if anybody else come into the country, they cry racism. Black people, not all but most, would jump on board right away. And black people are the number one haters of other people. They lead the way in hating whites, Mexicans, Japanese, the Italian, anyone that moves. They even hate other black Africans who come here and get an education, get jobs, and make their way. Black people are the most hateful people on earth. Why are they always crying racism when they're the one leading the way in hatred?
I would 100% disagree based on history that black people are the most hateful people in the world. As a matter of fact, I would argue that African Americans are the most loving people.
No.
And
why don't you live in the hood? I bet you won't move to the hood.
I live, a couple miles from where I grew up.
I know where you live. You don't live in the hood.
I live where I grew up. I live in the community, and I'll tell you this.
So why don't you move to the hood with those loving people?
I lived, up until 2017. I lived in the hood.
But you don't live in the hood now.
I don't live in the hood now.
And so, if they so loving, why don't you live with them?
What is the hood?
You know what the hood is.
No,
you ain't that white.
Say what?
You're not that white. You don't know what the hood is. What is the hood?
Yeah, no. What is the hood? Are there white hoods?
Yeah, I hear that there are white ghettos, even though I never seen one. I do hear that they exist.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, when you come to the East Coast, I'll take you to some places where they're virtually all white, and you'll see how comfortable you feel in that community. You've been in LA a long time. You probably haven't been in areas like Alabama in a while.
So you know where white hoods are?
Absolutely.
So you do know what a hood is, then? Why did you ask me what was a hood?
Well, you're telling me that I think you have a different definition because you're like, I don't know if a white hood exists.
I've never seen one.
So maybe there isn't a white maybe there isn't. I don't know. You have to tell me what a hood is. So we would define a lot of things differently. I define racism differently than you.
What is a man?
What is a man? I think a man is, however a particular person defines a man.
Is a transgender woman a real man?
So if they're a transgender woman, then they're a woman.
No, meaning that they went from a woman, they took off their woman body part and put on men body parts. Would that make them a man?
So I would say if they define themselves to be men, then you want to define yourself to be a man, then call yourself a man.
But would you see it as a man?
Yes, I respect people's beliefs.
But in your own heart and mind, would you see it as a man?
Yes.
So you think that's what a man is?
Because I respect people's beliefs and the way they.
Are you a Christian?
No, I'm not.
Oh, an atheist?
No.
What are you?
I have my own spiritual beliefs.
What's your spiritual belief?
I have a spiritual belief in God. I believe in God. And, I don't like to put labels on it.
Do you love black people?
I absolutely love black people.
Why couldn't you say that about white people?
I said I love all people.
No, you said I absolutely love black people. But when I asked you if you love white people, you couldn't say.
Yeah, no, I didn't. It wasn't that I couldn't say.
I just wanted to make
it clear. I wanted to make it clear that I love all people.
Well, why did you make that clear when I asked about black people?
Because I think you and I have a difference. You love white people, but don't love black people.
I love all people. I love all people, even my enemies.
Yeah, so then we agree.
I love white people. If you had asked me, do you love white people? Yes. But
I know you would have said
couldn't
yes.
say yes. And when you asked about black people, I love black people. Amazing. And don't forget to like, follow, tweet, subscribe, and share the Jesse Lee Peterson radio show, folks. We really appreciate it. We are at war. It is a spiritual battle for the soul of America. And it's going to take all of us to do it.